While all of our attention has been on the coaching search, the Lane Kiffin saga, as this has drawn out, LSU is going to play its final home game of the season on Saturday. They'll welcome in Western Kentucky, and it's senior night. And unfortunately, Garrett Nussmeier is just not going to have the storybook ending to his career that I'm sure he wanted, that a lot of people would have been hopeful for. We know he sat out of the game a week ago against Arkansas. He did not dress. And on Wednesday on the SEC Coaches Teleconference, Frank Wilson at the midpoint of this week gave this update on Nussmeier.
Garrett's situation hasn't changed much since last week. Those same issues are there for him. He's probably doubtful. You know, he was around yesterday, did some things, an individual, but I would say he's doubtful.
So this is significant for a few reasons. There's obviously the fact that you hate this for Garrett Nussmeier in what would be his final game in Tiger Stadium if he's unable to play. A guy who has been here since 2021, came back for his fifth season. Remember, did not play in that bowl game in 21 as a freshman to preserve the potential of a fifth year of eligibility, which now there's basically what is the Nussmeier rule, that you can play in a bowl game, it doesn't affect your eligibility. Stayed, never transferred, played this year, clearly through limitations, the disappointment, and now it would appear, if this holds, that Garrett Nussmeier's final on-field action in Tiger Stadium, it looks like it's going to be getting pulled at the end of the Texas A&M game. With that going the way that it did. So that is just so massively disappointing for Garrett that that it looks like his career in Baton Rouge will end this way. Now, he could always, of course, play if he's healthy enough in the regular season finale against Oklahoma. If he's healthy enough, we'll see if and when it gets to that point. I said there's a couple things. One, of course, is just the disappointment for Garrett. The other is if Garrett can't play and then you play Michael Van Buren, of course, then Michael Van Buren burns his red shirt. So he's played in 4 games. If he plays on Saturday against Western Kentucky, that's it. He loses the possibility of a fifth year, at least from this perspective. He could go somewhere next year in redshirt, or whatever the case may be, and have a fifth-year option somewhere down the line. But he would lose this season of eligibility. And, it was pretty clear a week ago, before Nuss was injured late in the week on that Thursday, that I would not have played Van Buren. I would have preserved the redshirt. There's no reason to waste a year of eligibility for a 2-quarterback system at the end of a lost season. It takes on a different meaning if Van Buren is starting. He's your starting quarterback, like he was against Arkansas. And if Van Buren now is going to start against Western Kentucky and start against Oklahoma and play the entirety of the game, well, now you're talking about, the opportunity to go start 3 games at the end of the season, potentially a road conference game against Oklahoma. And now you're getting a real good evaluation of Michael Van Buren for whoever the next coach will be, to know if this is the guy that you want to saddle up behind for 2026. Now, no matter how it shakes, LSU has to add quarterbacks this offseason. Because even if Colin Hurley rejoins the team and Van Buren is back, you're not going into the season with 2 scholarship quarterbacks. Nussmeier's graduating. You'll have to add someone via the portal. The question is, are you looking for someone with starting experience, like the reports of Sam Leavitt from Arizona State, considering portal offers and options? Okay, well, that's a great option if it's available. Or are you looking for someone like you added with A.J. Swan or with Michael Van Buren, guys that you knew you were bringing in to be backups? Well, it's hard to answer that question today, but I'll have a much better answer with a greater sample size for Michael Van Buren over the next 2 weeks. If he starts and plays the whole game against Western Kentucky and plays really well, and then goes to Norman against that defense and plays really well, you may decide, man, look, there's a lot there. And you like the possibility of how he may grow. Now, the other part of that, too, is what coach do you hire, and stylistically, what skill set does that coach want in his quarterback? That's an unknown. Hypothetically, if you hire Lane Kiffin, does Kiffin bring, a a quarterback with him from Ole Miss? Maybe. You've got Simmons there, who lost his starting job to Trinidad Chambliss, who could certainly be a transfer risk. Could follow Kiffin, maybe. What if you hire Kenny Dillingham? Do you get Dillingham and Sam Levitt? Those are all hypotheticals. You could play down the road. But the point is, if Nussmeier's not available, then you get 2 more games of a 3-game sample size of Michael Van Buren starting at LSU this year on top of the 8 games he started a year ago at Mississippi State, which will give you just more information to make a more informed decision. Now, we're obviously keeping an eye on Nussmeier, and it looks like he's doubtful, according to Frank. The other player everyone's asking about every week is, of course, Whit Weeks, who hasn't played since the South Carolina game. So disappointing, but here was the update on Whit.
He's game. He want to play. I think he has a chance to play. It's been that every week for him. What happens is sometimes he gets extremely sore after practicing, after pushing himself in. What is today a Wednesday would be our ability to manage it, to try to get him to game so that he could feel good about himself, be able to protect himself and be very productive as much as he can be. That's the plan. And so we'll continue to adhere to that.
We'll talk more about the plan against Western Kentucky. And this is a Western Kentucky team that played in Tiger Stadium a few years back and is one that's going to spread it out and sling it around. They're 11th in the country in passing yards. They average 31 points a game. So it's a good offense there at Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers can sling it. So, they're 8-2. They're second in CUSA. But I don't think you need Whit Weeks to win this game. Obviously, you're a 3-touchdown favorite Saturday in Tiger Stadium. But would you love to have Whit Weeks back for the sake of letting him get out there and play these next 2 games and what limited opportunities he has left in Tiger Stadium if he goes pro after the season or makes the decision to return? The bottom line is, you go through spring, you go through fall, and obviously Whit missed spring as he was recovering from the offseason surgery, and you go through fall camp, and you go through just all the miserable practices to get to Saturdays to be able to play in the games. And obviously he already lost the 1 game against Florida after targeting on the 3rd play. And now this injury has taken him away for more than a month. So I can understand if he's healthy and he wants to play, getting out there and giving it a go. But we'll talk much more about Western Kentucky as we move throughout the week and whether or not Whit Weeks will be available. By the way, Western Kentucky head coach Tyson Helton is going to be on AFR tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that conversation. Get a closer look at the Hilltoppers as they come into Tiger Stadium. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.